Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Jessie102 and today we're talking about fat people. And I know that sounds offensive, but I will use the word fat because the people we're talking about use the word fat and are fighting for fat acceptance. Therefore, I don't think the word fat is inherently bad. It shouldn't be. It can be used as an insult. I don't do it in this video. I just want to explain to you that there is a community online that I absolutely don't get. I understand them even less than flat earthers. And in my opinion, they are more dangerous. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about fat acceptance / body positivity / health at every size, because those communities are spreading not only misinformation, but they are the bigger body shamers than anyone else. First, I wanted to explain a little bit more about the terminology. In, for example, Wikipedia, it's described as: the fat acceptance movement is a social movement seeking to change anti-fat bias in social attitudes by raising awareness among the general public about the obstacles faced by fat people experiencing the stigma of obesity. Areas of contention include the aesthetic, legal, and medical approaches to people whose bodies are fatter than the social norm. And just by that descriptor, it is a good thing. Humanity gets more obese day by day, which isn't a good thing, by the way, but it is a fact. And there are certain things where the size of one's body shouldn't matter, like in a legal and medical case. Of course, certain medical issues will be eased by losing weight, but not everything can be brushed up to weight. So I understand why they are doing this. And that is a term that I think the meaning changed because of a misunderstanding, because the original idea behind health at every size was that you can, regardless of how big or thin you are, you can make better choices to progress into a healthy lifestyle, to get healthy. It doesn't matter if you're severely underweight with 30 kilograms or severely overweight with 300 kilograms, that you can make choices to get healthier regardless of your size at this moment. To be healthier, or that the goal is to be healthy and not a certain weight or a certain number. But nowadays, the health at every size movement has turned to: you can be 300 kilograms heavy and be healthy. And that is where the danger starts, in my opinion. It's kind of self-explanatory to be positive about your body. It was, again, originally invented for people that had disabilities or injuries, like burn victims or amputees, and all of the people that had due to trauma or to a birth defect or in some kind of way wouldn't fit into the social norm of beauty. It was made to give them confidence that they have a more positive outlook on their own body. But again, that was hijacked by the fat acceptance movement, and now you're body positive only if you're big or if you are a person of color. I will explain that later, but that is kind of a thing now. So when you are on the internet, you probably have heard of the term fatphobia, because everything is kind of fat phobic at this day and age. And to make it even more obvious why it is kind of ridiculous when you think about, because not everything is fatphobic. The problem is those people overuse the word fatphobia for everything they deem unfair. For example, chairs in hair or nail salons are fatphobic because the normal standard chairs are too small for people with, I don't know, 400 pounds, 200 kilograms, whatever. And that's apparently fatphobic. Airlines are fatphobic because as a morbidly obese person, you have to purchase 2 seats just because you take the space of 2 seats. When you have 3 seats in an airplane and someone with, let's say, 250 kilograms sits next to you, you don't have a full seat space because they're so big they need more than 1 seat. And when you don't like it, understandable. I assume as a very big person that must feel humiliating when they say, hey, you're too big, you need to purchase another seat. Because I wouldn't want to sit next to a morbidly obese person when half of their thigh and butt is on my seat, and I have paid the same price but don't have a full seat of space. And no, an airline shouldn't be responsible for making that plane fat accommodating, that there are bigger seats that fat people could sit there. No. But when you think that, for example, flying isn't comfortable for you because you're big, then you should make a choice of either lose weight or deal with it. Where I stumbled upon the whole fat acceptance movement is that before and after pics of weight loss is fatphobic, because you imply that before, when you were bigger or fat, that was bad. So that's an issue now? Oh, okay. That is the wildest thing to me, because you should be allowed to lose weight. But losing weight is inherently bad for people of this community, because that means you hate yourself. Because if you would really, really love yourself, you would be fat. I'm not joking. This is not hyperbolic. That is their sentiment. And that is where I have a problem. When you shame people for getting healthier, you can be as fat as you want. No problem. No one should care about that. You shouldn't be shamed for being fat. No doubt about it. The problem is when you go out there and claim that being fat is healthy. That it's healthy to weigh more than 200 pounds. That it's healthy to have a BMI over 40. It's not. So now I wanted to talk about a big, in every sense of the word, activist for fat acceptance. And her name is Tess Holliday. Tess Holliday is, I think, in her mid-30s, and she is the first plus-size model that has been signed with a big agency, I think. She's a size 22, whatever that means. I'm European, I don't know. She's big. She is the founder of the hashtag F Your Beauty Standards. But it would be more appropriate to call it F Your Beauty Standard, because, and I don't want to shame her for that, you do you, she's beautiful, but she has filler in her lips, she has Botox in her face, she gets her hair done, her nails done, and tattoos. So she complies to every beauty standard except being thin, which again is fine. I thought about having filler in my lips once upon a time, and maybe I will at some point, I don't know. So I'm not against all of this. I'm just trying to point out a little bit of hypocrisy, maybe more than just a little bit. Because again, my problem here is that she can't seem to understand that it's okay to fit into a beauty standard, because she fits in all of them except the size. So why isn't it okay for other people to fit in the size beauty standard? But Tess Holliday is also fighting for fat people to being allowed to be sexy, which is a great thing. You should be allowed to feel sexy and great and wear nice clothes, regardless of your size. And no one should be allowed to say, oh my God, you're fat, you shouldn't be allowed to wear that. No. What she's doing in general, I don't have a problem with. I only have a problem because she makes this thing kind of a cult. And I will explain what I mean by that. You have to look a certain way to be allowed into the community. I was shamed out of an Instagram post a while back where I had the hashtag body positivity in it, because it was when I had my surgeries on my hand and I felt bad because I don't have a wrist anymore and I gained weight. And I mean, body positivity, it's not fat positivity, it's body. I have a body, so I naively thought I would fit into that hashtag. And I got shamed out of it. I got so much shit that I'm thin, I have thin privilege, and I'm not allowed to use that hashtag because, again, I'm thin. I'm not thin. I maybe am not obese, but I'm not thin. And I got really shamed out of it because I don't fit in it. I am not allowed to be thin or to be happy and thin because I can't be positive about my body because I'm too thin. I know it doesn't make sense. The problem is when you, for example, go a while back on Tess Holliday's Instagram, someone said, girl, you're so gorgeous, you look glowing and healthy. And Tess responded to that really nice compliment that she shouldn't be calling her healthy because it is a bad word with such negative. Okay. Negative. With such negative connotations that she should step a little back and not use the word. And a few days after this, a woman of color commented something about, I think, her hair or something, that it looks healthy. And Tess only responded with, thank you. Shh. Go down. By the way, since I had a little bit of a forceful break, what do you think about maybe subscribing down below, hitting the like button? I would greatly appreciate it. And if you have any suggestions of future videos, just let me know in the comments. Mommy's filming. Don't look at me like this. And someone mentioned in the comments, hey Tess, I thought healthy is a bad word now. And she said,
don't you dare start anything with a woman of color in my comment section.
But yeah, healthy, apparently, bad word now according to Tess. So in my opinion, those fat activists are just gatekeeping so many communities because you should be able to be body positive. I have BPD, I have scars on my body. Originally, body positivity was invented for people like me. But I'm not allowed to claim myself as body positive because those fat people would lose their minds over it because I'm not fat enough to be part of their little circle. why I refer to all of this as a cult is when you look at a YouTuber, she's called Glitter and Lasers. She was/is fat activist, and at some point she got diagnosed with a lipedema. That is a issue with the fat cells in your body, and they're very painful, and it's a huge thing. I don't know enough about it to talk in more depth about it, but she has to lose weight or it would get worse. And she made a video about it, and she got so much hate from her own body positive community. Just a little break again. Sorry about that, but Xena is very exhausting. But we know also now why. Just as a side note, her baby teeth aren't falling out, although her new teeth are coming out. So she has in her upper jaw, right next to each other, 2 of her canines, the baby and the adult ones. And apparently she has some pain because of it, and the vet said when at the end of the week they're still not falling out, she will get pain medication until they have to pull them out surgically. And also, don't mind all of my stains here. I have a new self-tanner and tried how it looks on me, so my problem with all of the fat acceptance and health at every size is it is dangerous. Yes, you can be 600 pounds and be healthy at this moment in time, that your blood work is fine, your liver is working, your kidneys are working, but it's not healthy, because with all of these excess of fat in your body, at a certain point in time, your body will stop working properly. Your heart could fail because there's so much more to keep pumping the blood throughout. Your liver can store fat in it because when you eat so much, at some point it can be even hard to breathe because of all the excess weight. To be healthy at one point in time doesn't mean anything. I can sit here and munch the whole day on uranium and say, see, nothing happened, so it's not unhealthy. Yes, it is unhealthy, but I will probably only feel the effects a certain amount of time later. This lifestyle is not sustainable. If you choose to be that big, like Tess Holliday, fine, you go. You should be allowed to feel sexy and to live your best life, but don't claim that that is healthy. When you think about size and your weight as a human, when you think about it as a spectrum, morbidly obese is on this side of the spectrum, where there's Tess Holliday and Amberlynn Reid. And on the other side, when you look on the other side of the spectrum, which is arguably as dangerous as the fat spectrum, and where there is, for example, Eugenia Cooney. No one would go, or almost no one would go and say, hey Eugenia, you're beautiful, don't put any weight on. No, of course not, because she's dangerously thin. Everyone can agree that an ED saying to a morbidly obese person they shouldn't lose weight because they're beautiful as they are is like saying to an alcoholic they shouldn't stop drinking because they're so fun when they're drunk. That's dangerous. Why is it so damning when I would go out and say to a friend who is morbidly obese and say, hey, honey, I really love you, but you need to care for yourself. You need to lose weight, because when you keep up this weight, you probably won't be living as long. Because how many old, really old people do you know that are morbidly obese? there are not many, because those people that are most of their life morbidly obese probably won't live as long as people that aren't as big. You don't have to be thin like a supermodel, because let's be real, this is an also very dangerous beauty standard. But to say anorexic people are sick is fine, but to morbidly obese people, it's not. And don't get me wrong, she shouldn't get shit for being on a cover of a magazine. It's not everything immediately glorifying obesity. But when Cosmopolitan puts as a headline, Tess Holliday, I am fit, healthy, and 300 pounds, I think that sends the wrong message. And there is my problem. When you're not allowed to be body positive because your body doesn't fit their standard of beauty, I'm sorry, you're as bad as all of the people you claim to hate. Because you are excluding more people than the bad people of the beauty standard community. And I think that is very sad, because originally they were great ideas and you ruined it for everyone. That was just a little, I hope, informative rant, because I don't like it. I don't like to see it, to just get communities torn apart over nothing, basically. But let me know if you did like this video, if you want to have a video more in depth about certain people in those communities or the communities in general, because this was more just on the surface, barely scratched the surface. But I think it's a very interesting community and topic to talk about, because it's still important. Although I disagree with some of the people, the message inherently I do agree with. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Please like and subscribe, and of course comment down below, please. And I will see you in the next one. Bye!